This script is so amazing. I really want to produce it myself off-Broadway. How do I even do that?
Good question, Emily. All of us want to learn how to self-produce a play, but most of us don't know how to do it. But you know me. When I got a question, I want an answer. So I'm gonna learn how to self-produce a play off-Broadway on this week's Bianca.
Bianca. Bianca. Bianca.
I'm here in front of the Red Room Theater in Greenwich Village, where rehearsals are underway for It or Her, a play that opens February 24th in the 4th annual Frigid New York Festival. I want to know how these people got their play produced.
Bianca.
So your play is called It or Her by Elena Smith. Tell us, what's this play about?
Well, without giving too much away, we discover a man living in his basement, interacting with his 36 female ceramic figurines. And through his interaction with these its or hers, we discover a very dark secret that he's carrying.
Interesting. I'm intrigued. So tell me, how did you get this play produced?
Well, we were actually actively looking for several months for a venue or any kind of opportunity to get the play produced, and Brian actually found an opportunity for us kind of last minute.
Yeah, we were looking for, like we said, maybe a festival or a venue, and 2 hours before the frigid deadline, without them even knowing, I submitted to the festival, and later that evening 15 shows were drawn out of a hat and selected to be 15 of the 30 shows that were chosen to be part of this festival. So it was, and then once we were accepted, I sort of sent some text messages saying we have a show.
So you're saying that you got the slot in the festival because your name was drawn out of a hat?
Yeah.
Actually, yes, and the other 15 slots are first come, first serve.
So tell me, how did you make your budget, or what goes into your budget?
Well, the great thing about this piece is that very little is required, so we could keep our costs very low. Other than the few $100s that we had to pay for the festival fee, we get to keep 100% of the box office, which is a really great thing.
So we got together and we went through every element of production cost and made a budget to pay for all of the elements, set, lights, sound, any resources that we had to bring in, and paying our staff, and figured out that we could do the entire project for $2,500.
You mentioned you had a staff. So who's in your staff?
We have a production coordinator who is actually doing a lot of the grunt work for us in terms of getting the press release out to individual contacts that we have, and she's also our production stage manager. And then we have a lighting designer, a sound designer, who's doing some original music for us because there's some dances in the piece. And we have a set/costume designer as well. So we hope to pay all of those artists for their work and hope that we make enough money on the show that Elena and Brian and I, as co-producers, are able to pay ourselves at the end.
So it's going to cost you $2,500. How did you raise that money? Did you fundraise?
We knew from some donors that we had asked that it would be to their benefit to receive a tax-deductible receipt for their tax purposes. So we found an organization called The Field, which was able to supply us with an umbrella organization of not-for-profit status, which would allow us to send the donor checks to them, and that way we would receive the funds, and they would receive tax-deductible sort of credit.
So how are you advertising this show?
We'll show you.
We were just going to do the standard Facebook invite and an email, but then and not do a postcard. But in the end,
we actually discovered after a little bit of research that it really isn't that expensive to make 500 postcards and a few posters, and also realized how valuable it is to have actually something very tangible that you can give to somebody when you're passing them on the street.
Bianca!
Thanks, guys. Well, I've learned something about self-producing a play off-Broadway, and I bet you have too. Self-producing a play is hard work, but you can do it. Remember, this is what Bianca wants you to know.